Well, I think my computer even has a virus because this is my third attempt to upload a video. My first one was March 6th. My second one was March 16th, and it's now March 19th. And this is Shit Hits the Fan in a Van. My name's Julia, and I am the nomadic crafter, and I live in a 96 Dodge 2500 van with my dog, Bambi. Aww. So this video is about the coronavirus. What is going on? Oh my God. Finally it happened. So in this video, I'm going to talk about shit hits the fan in a van. Something like this goes down and you live in a van. And I'm going to talk about how it's a little bit different in a van than for those living in houses. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience so far. So, thank you all for joining me. I look at the van listings now, van life listings, and I can see that everybody's done a coronavirus video. But darn it, if I had gotten mine up from March 6th, mine would have been one of the first. Because the main thing to tell you is that this is no surprise to me. I'm the type of person that I watch a lot of prepper videos, and I really believe in being prepared. And I just think that Americans and the modern world in general is not prepared for this type of thing. And the main thing is that people don't believe that something like this could happen. And in my view, it's like, well, not a matter of if, but when. So this coronavirus coming through, I think, for two reasons is completely natural and expected. One is it's a virus going through a population that's a high population and widespread on the planet. And whenever that happens, life is opportunistic. And we're just providing a great opportunity for a virus to use us as the host and expand itself. So, I mean, it's like a monoculture in agriculture. We have all the same type of species, vast fields of the same type of thing. Of course, that will attract the insects, and when they come, they will have all of their favorite food source in one place, and they can wipe it out. This monoculture is not sustainable, and it's not healthy. And that brings me to the second reason why this coronavirus does not surprise me at all, and that is because our system is so precarious and is so intertwined that you adjust or mess up just one part of it, and it's going to have a far-reaching effect throughout the whole system. One example is our food system having only 3 days supply on hand at any given time, because we're expecting that we'll always be able to stock up. There'll always be oil. And this just goes to how modern Americans have become lazy and just not well prepared for changes that come about like this. And I mean lazy in the sense of expecting everything to always be here for us, expecting the government to take care of us if it's not. Or the same thing with expecting science to always come up with a solution to every problem. That is not how I think about things. I believe in really being prepared. So again, 3 weeks ago, I did this video, and I already knew it was potentially going to be bad. And I didn't think there was a big hype about it. I just thought, in other words, I don't think you have to completely panic or oh, it's nothing at all. I think 3 weeks ago, at least, it was right in the middle there. And I would talk to family members and other people, and they were like, oh, you're panicking, huh? And I was like, no, I'm not panicking, I'm preparing. Well, now that family member has all of their kids out of school at home with one car and no savings. And so, of course they have credit, so they'll be fine, but they weren't prepared at all because they didn't believe anything like this could ever happen to them. So, again, I stocked up 3 weeks ago with a bunch of extra food, medicines, dog food, butane, and gas. And by the time I got to my second video, March 16th, I was running out on butane and dog food. And I went to the grocery stores too. I went to Walmart and a grocery store, and both had nearly empty dog food, except for just a couple. I ended up getting her a different kind. I'm actually in transition changing her food right now, so I had to go back to the first kind. in order to get a bag of dog food. And then I was getting low on butane. I was down to 3 because I had gotten 6. And I used the butane to cook on my stove to eat. So, and to make coffee. So, when I got down to 3, I was like, holy moly. And I kept going to Walmart, and I couldn't find any. Well, finally, yesterday, I went to one of the Asian shops, and thank you for the tip. And I got 20. Now, let me sidebar for a minute and say, I know my last video that you've seen was about me transforming my van, and it has been transformed, but I'm not going to show it to you because it's not ready yet. I'm still adjusting things, and right now it's kind of a mess. So that'll probably be my next video, my updated van arrangement. But let's see. So the thing about it is, though, that here I am trying to rearrange my van, which is going to cause new issues with how to store different things, and trying to minimize down and get rid of more stuff. And here we have a pandemic come through where I suddenly need to stock up on everything. So not only what I stocked up on before, but now 20 cans of butane. I mean, that's about 12 inches by 12 inches space, and I got 2 bags like that. So where does that go? So this is really a little bit frustrating lately, going through mechanical repairs, a redesign of the van, and a pandemic at the same time. I've been a little bit overwhelmed, I have to tell you. So now, I'm calling this video Shit Hits the Fan in a Van. Let's ask the question, is this really shit hits the fan? Well, it's close enough. The shelves are empty. Many of the shelves. There's a lack of masks. I started looking for masks in January and never could find any of them. There were a lack of tests because the CDC messed up the testing kits, and we're not just now getting that together. There's a general lack of plans nationwide, and now we have the clampdowns and closings. So I'd say it's close enough to shit hits the fan that we've ever experienced for some time. Finally, they came out with some basic guidelines for us, but other than that, they haven't told us what to do until just recently. But in my mind, I've been thinking about this and preparing it for weeks, for over a month, but there was no guidance whatsoever what to do if I should get sick. So the thing about this virus too is that not only is it natural that it sweep through the human population, but it's a little bit different this time. We've had this happen before, and there will be future things coming. This is expected. But the thing is, we've never had such an interconnected world with everybody traveling so much. So anything like this that comes along is very likely to spread quickly. And anybody that's going to get up on a pulpit, like our leaders, say, for example, and tell us, don't worry about anything, there's only so many cases, and not saying something like, yeah, but they will rise, so, be clean and get... be very careful because it's very likely these cases will rise. Instead, they try and tell us, no problem, nothing's going to happen. That's absolutely ridiculous, and that's why I don't listen to them. So, yeah, this is not fear, or panic, it's a deadly virus. And it is a deadly virus. There's no doubt about it. And there was no doubt about it for me weeks ago. So, yeah, it's shit hits the fan close enough. So in this situation, now what I want to talk about is how it's different for van dwellers. And it really, really is. First of all, one of the reasons I live in a van is because I always consider a van a getaway van. And what that means is you can drive away from any kind of natural disaster, pandemics, civil unrest, even unhealthy relationships or narcissistic situations, stalkers. A van like this and living the van life allows you to get away. And you can go out into the desert right now, stock up on everything, and go out there and not have much contact at all, if any, with anybody. And that's the value of a getaway van. No matter what I ever do, if I house up or whatever, I will always have a vehicle, preferably a van, stocked up and ready to go at a moment's notice. And that brings me to the first thing I want to talk about is how being a van dweller allows me to be a lot more prepared than your average regular citizen driving around in cars. Most people don't even carry water in their car. Most people don't even drink water, but yeah, most people don't carry water in their cars. But I have water. Incidentally, I have 7 gallons. And 3 of them are emergency gallons. 4 of them are getting rotated and refilled all the time. But yeah, being in a van allows you to be so much more prepared. Even if I break down on the side of the road, I am way more prepared than anybody else. Even just having a big space with the shade overhead, all of the windows, and somewhere to lay down, and water and food. No matter what happens, we are more prepared than someone in a regular car. Now, on the other hand, it drives me crazy living in a van because I'm also a prepper of sorts. I am unable to carry enough to feel really prepared in a van because it's such a small size, And so in a way, sticks and bricks. Some people say living in a van and living in a house and sheltering in during this is not that different, but really it is, because in a house you can really, really stock up much better than you can in a van. The other idea for a van dweller is to just get a storage unit in the area where you're at and stock that up. It might also be a place that you can sort of bug out during the day, get away from people. You can just be, organizing your stuff. So that's something to consider. But the biggest thing is, as things get more and more locked down and they're asking us to stay away from places, we've got now guidelines to not gather in more than 10 people. Living in a van becomes a little bit scary, and the main reason is because when everybody's not out here anymore and they're all in their houses sheltering in, I'm in a van still out in public. I may be sheltering in my van, but I'm still out in public, parking in public parking spots on public streets. And the community here in San Diego has already been talking about what are we going to do with all the homeless. And us in vehicles are considered homeless. There are a lot of people in vehicles here in San Diego that really are homeless. They would prefer to have a regular home, but they live in an RV because they can't afford it. And then there's all of us sort of van lifers by choice. And so what's going to happen when it's like curfew at 8 p.m. and I'm out there parked at the burrito place overnight? That scares me a little bit because I feel like I'm going to be really sticking out. So that's probably my biggest fear. Like I say, they're already talking about what to do with the homeless. They're already starting to put them into hotel rooms, in some cases. So yeah, I'm kind of like out here like a sore thumb. The other thing is, the use of public spaces is huge for a van dweller. Not only parks, but places like libraries where I can get online and recharge my computer is huge. And then just yesterday, they closed down my gym a day after they charged me the monthly fee, but I know they didn't do that on purpose. So, no, but really they didn't, because they didn't know that they were going to have to close the gym. But it's obvious that was coming. So guess what? I can't take hot showers anymore, and I'm really pretty bummed about that, especially after completely reorganizing the van in a greasy, dusty mechanic shop. So that really, really sucks, because those showers have been a big part of my van life. So now we're not able to do that. We're also, places like Starbucks or McDonald's, if they close down, then you can't use the Wi-Fi outside of those places either. Places like laundromats, I need to do laundry. They're not closed yet, but they could close. Then I'm going to have to do hand laundry. Then we're talking about more water, more time, more achy hands. And how am I going to dry it? Hang it out outside of the van like those other people? I don't want to do that, So, and even collecting water, I was at one of the water machines, not getting a new jug. Those are all gone for the most part, for now. But filling up at one of the machines, one of them said sold out, sorry. And I'm thinking, sold out of a water machine? Wow. So even that can become a treacherous situation for someone living in a van. So I just really don't know what's going to come next. But I know that I can move around as needed. One of the things I do suggest for van dwellers, in addition to having a lot of food and whatever your cooking fuel is, and keeping your gas tank completely full if you can, is having extra oil and transmission fluid or brake fluid or whatever you think you might need for your vehicle. Just get that and have it on hand, a little more than you would ordinarily have, is my suggestion. And God forbid the gas runs out. But here it's just gone down to $3 at one place, so that's awesome. And let's see, I guess for me, like I say, that's the biggest fear right now, is what kind of rules and guidelines are going to come down the pike now that are going to affect me parking around town. Let's see. California is definitely a hot spot for coronavirus. And again, when I did the previous videos, it was even more so. So what are we going to do now, Bambi and I? And Bambi and I are fine. Actually, when I did the first video, I was sick for about 4 days. Excuse me. And it wasn't the dry cough or any of that respiratory stuff, but I just felt a little bit flu-like. And I was like, holy moly, that video is called Coronavirus in a Van. I was a little bit scared. I started dosing up on garlic, chicken soup, vitamin C, lots of water, and lots of fresh air, and sleep. And trying to boost our immunity is the most important thing that we can do right now. That is where it all goes down, and that's true for anything. You can always get sick from something, but if your body is healthy and your immunity is up, that's really the only way to combat any of those things. So I suggest that you do that. But yeah, I'm in California, and right now I'm in one of the most dangerous places I could possibly be, San Diego. It's a big city. It has cases. It has ships coming in all the time on our port. It is a military hub, so that people in the military are coming and going out of here. Not like domestic flights or blocks on any of those. The military is coming in and out of here all the time. Then they're going home to their homes, to their families. So I think it's really dangerous here. Not to mention some of the first flights from Wuhan came here. We're right next to LA. We're right next to a border, Mexico. I think it's super unsafe to be here. And as you know, I've been wanting to go for a long time. So, but where was I going? Northern California. It's even worse up there right now. So if we went up north, we'd have to just bypass the whole Bay Area. Excuse me. And where I was going was Sonoma County. It's only 2 hours north of the Bay Area, so I don't think it's really safe. But is it safe anywhere? I don't think so. I think this thing's running through, and then it'll lessen, and it might come back, and then it'll lessen. It might stay with us for a long time. It might pare down and not ever come back. Who knows? We don't know, which is why it's always good to be prepared. So I don't know if we're heading north now. I don't know what to do. I kind of want to rush up there. Maybe even go as far as Humboldt County. But the thing is I don't want to do that trip in a rush, because that's what I did when I crossed the country. It was like, other than stopping in Colorado for a couple weeks, I rushed the whole cross-country trip, which was a dream of mine to do that in this van with my dog Paime, but at least I got to do it with Bambi. I don't want to rush and do that trip, so we might end up staying here. The other thing is, we're very lucky to be connected with my mechanic right now, to have a place to go, and as we have been doing for months now, sewing, which is my income, which can be greatly affected by people not working and not having their income and not being able to buy my stuff. So I've already seen, recently there haven't been any sales except for hat patterns, so that people can sit at home and make hats. But that's really going to affect my business, I think, at some point. I'm glad I have a little bit of security put aside. I'm stocked up on everything, and I have a lot of yarn that I can make hats with. And I can stay here in San Diego and sew if I want. But we're very lucky to have that spot, because I can also charge my phone, empty my toilet, upload my videos, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, Planet Fitness was not only a great place to take showers, it had the best Wi-Fi, so we would often go there at night and upload my videos and work on my clothing stores. Now we can't do that, and it also was a main place for me to park at night. One of the best places, not coronavirus, one of the best places for me to park at night that I will. Right now, people are still parking there, but as it sort of cycles through and it's like, this place is not 24 hours, it's not even open, they might start clamping down on that. So I don't know, but we're really lucky to have the mechanic shop right now. I can't park over there overnight, but I can go there. later in the day through the evening to, and I can get water there, etc. So without that, I would feel more like, yeah, we're going to drive maybe inland to the desert and bug out. So I don't know exactly what we're doing. I'll have to keep you updated on that. But the thing about the mechanic shop is the people there are not that concerned about this, and people are still coming in to get their cars fixed. So and then all the buddies that, my mechanic friend has a lot of friends that stop by and shoot the shit, and just guys hanging out in a mechanic shop. And all of those guys are using the bathroom. All of those guys are coming through the office where I work to get to the refrigerator. And those guys, everybody's out and about doing their thing and then bringing it over to the shop. The shop is also dirty because it's a mechanic shop. So it's kind of a scary, maybe dangerous place for me to be, and I have to weigh those two things out. So that's sort of where I'm at with that. I'd like to get somewhere safer. I'm really afraid of using the money that I've saved, just as money might not be coming in as well. And how long do I sew while I can, So yeah, am I afraid? Yeah, I think this is very real. That's the biggest feeling I get from it. But it feels very normal to me because I'm used to living in crisis. It feels very much like 9/11. Before 9/11, people thought nothing could ever happen to us. And I sat there going, why hasn't anybody tried to get us yet? It seems obvious to me that this is bound to happen at some point. And I hate to say that, but it did happen. And that people were completely surprised and enraged. How dare you? And we went, for a, 18-year, rampage around the Middle East, destroying everything. This is my view. In order to try and control these other nations. And we're still locked up in all that craziness, creating more craziness, spending all that money, all of those lives taken on all sides, and constant war, the devastation of the environment, everything. Because we were so outraged that this could happen. Well, what we should have been is prepared. And as liberal as I am, I'm a big advocate and have been for years. Let's pull our resources back to the country, shore up our borders. And I'm not talking about a 30-foot metal multi-billion-dollar fence. We can do it much more humanely and person-oriented than putting up a giant metal wall. But I am a big proponent of shoring up our borders because I think it hasn't been safe for a long time. So, and I'm a proponent of taking that money and that energy, the energy of the soldiers as well, our strongest and best, so to say, put them to work here in our country, building up our infrastructure, building up our education, building up our resources, our connection, our agriculture, our manufacturing, and get our shit together. And that's how I've always felt, and it's more prevalent than ever. So for me, for a virus to be sweeping through like this, yeah, I'm scared. I think it's healthy to be some degree of scared, but I'm not surprised at all. And I won't be surprised, like what I was saying to myself this morning, is all the other viruses yet to come are going to be jealous of the coronavirus because it got so much attention. Well, there's going to be more to come. So in general, I think Americans should be a lot more prepared. All of those green lawns that you guys have in the houses, maybe you could start growing, or even just trial run how to grow a garden in case you might need to. If you look back at World War II, Americans pooled together to... as all one to shore up the country while most of our resources were abroad. And everybody started doing their own gardens, and the women went to work where the men's roles were open, and everybody did their part. That's how we need to be. And I understand that a lot of the younger people aren't taking this seriously, probably because they think it doesn't affect them, which is, the height of narcissism and stupidity. So I don't know what parents would let their kids go on spring break right now. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, for me, this is normal, something expected. I almost want to say it told you so. See, like that. That's the energy that I have, is like, duh. So, but I won't say that, even though I already did. This is good for us Americans. It's a wake-up call. It's time to start being prepared. And what's the deal with the toilet paper? Shit hits the fan, or nearly, and the thing you go get first is toilet paper? Oh my God. And by the way, I'm going to do a prepping video, because I'm really into the prepping channels, and none of them seem to be mentioning some of the most important things. And I'm going to do that. So, anyway, I think probably a lot more people are watching prepper videos right now. So, I want to say to everybody out there, again, we're okay. We're very lucky to be stocked up and safe at this point in our van. And by the way, when I transformed the van, I completely emptied it, vacuumed it out, and bleach wiped everything. So we got a fresh start. But I want to say to everyone out there, I hope that you're doing well. I really encourage you to keep clean. I was a house cleaner for many years, and I know that cleanliness does not seem to be the top priority in people's homes because I've experienced it and I've seen it and I know. So it's not a criticism, but I encourage you to be extra, extra clean in this time. And for you that have parents out there and regular jobs, I feel for you with your kids being home, your mortgages and your rents. Living in a van allows you to live on less, and so when something like this comes, it's a little bit easier because we're already living on less. So I just want to say I feel for you, and I encourage you to spend time with your family. One of the good things about this virus is I noticed as Bambi and I are taking our dog walks, people out on their lawns with their children playing, multiple generations there together. So yeah, take this time to spend that time that you never get with your family. Take this time to shore up things in your home. Not only being prepared with supplies, but get out all those little things fixed that need fixing. That drippy faucet, the garage that's filled with a bunch of stuff you don't need. And I would most of all suggest a deep cleaning, a deep spring cleaning that you might otherwise do. Well, now's a great time to do that, as well as minimizing. The less stuff you have, the cleaner you can be. I would also take this time to cook from scratch, have conversations with your children that you're too afraid to or don't have time to. And I would suggest meditating. Not that I'm the biggest meditator. I'm still trying to get in the practice of it. But I think this is a good time for a lot of self-care and meditation to keep us calm and clear. And I think it's just a sort of a really great opportunity to get your house in order. I used to be in a interdenominational gospel choir in college, and it was so fun. And that's why you'll often see me bust out with the gospel songs. That's why. And it wasn't a Christian group. We were using gospel music as a way to, praise the glory of all that is, rather than a specific religion. So, please don't make any assumptions about me, but I love gospel music. I used to go to the black churches deep in the black part of St. Louis, and it would be all black people and me, and they'd just be busting out, and I'd be bawling. It was so funny. One time I asked this black lady next to me, when I first came into this one church, I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, is this an all-black church?" She goes, "Honey, this is a church of God." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." It was awesome. So anyway, yeah. It's a shit hits the fan in a van, and we're bugging out in the van. We will keep isolated as much as possible. And I forgot, I didn't finish telling you, I was sick for about 4 days. Slightly flu-like, a little bit dizzy, tired, and under the weather. But the thing is, I'm also going through hormonal changes right now, and I have bad circulation, and I already get a little bit dizzy sometimes, and fatigued, so I didn't know really what was going on. And it didn't change from day 1 to day 4, but it's possible that I already got the lighter strain or just a light case of coronavirus in the van. And at that time, we did pull away from the sewing studio and everything else and just bug out in the van for those 4 days until I got my energy back up. And then I went right back to work after I bleach cleaned every door handle in the shop where I'm working. So that's where we're at, everyone. And those are my messages. I'm praying to the Most High that this video will actually upload, and I'm going to try and not even edit it. I don't even think I'm going to edit it. As soon as this uploads, I'm posting it. So be safe out there, everyone. Oh, God. We'll see what happens next. Ciao.